If you've seen any of my previous Footy League vacations or ground hopping videos, you'll probably notice that I'm not much of a travel vlogger. In all honesty, when I go to games, I don't really like having my phone out and pointing it towards myself and making a whole scene. I would much rather be in the moment and enjoy the sights and sounds around me. With that said, I have been taking some pretty cool trips lately that involve the beautiful game, and I do take the occasional video of what's going on around me. I would also like to share those experiences with you all because 1, it's content for the channel, and 2, because I think you might enjoy it too. So I thought that it might be useful to transition away from the typical football ground hopping vlog and instead create video guides on how to watch live matches in each country that I visit. This will include everything from how to get tickets to ticket prices and general do's and don'ts based on my experience. With all of that out of the way, let's get into today's video, which is all about my experience watching 4 football games in 2 days in Montevideo, Uruguay. This was a very random trip that I took, but ultimately turned into an incredibly fun and memorable experience that I can't wait to replicate in the future. For those of you unfamiliar, Montevideo is the capital of Uruguay, which is located in South America, bordered by Brazil to the north and Argentina to the west. Uruguay's official language is Spanish, so my first tip is to learn a little bit of Spanish before coming here. This might sound incredibly obvious, but unless you're talking to a younger person, I found that most people I interacted with didn't speak much English. One thing that was tremendously helpful was the translation app on my phone, so I would also make sure that you have plenty of cell phone data. Tickets for football or soccer matches in Uruguay are fairly easy to come by depending on the team you want to see. Most teams in the first and second divisions sell their tickets online using a website called redtickets.uy. Not only does this site sell tickets for regular season matches, but if one of those teams happens to be playing in a larger continental competition, like say the Copa Sudamericana, those tickets are also available online. This site also makes it clear where you'll want to buy your seats, as they will tell you what team sections you're buying in, so you don't have to worry about accidentally buying seats in the away section. For the 2 biggest clubs in the country, Peñarol and Nacional, you'll have to join their fan clubs to buy tickets online. This doesn't cost any money and simply requires you to create an online account, which you can easily navigate by yourself. If you'd prefer to get some help doing this, you can also do what I did, which was make an in-person visit to one of those clubs. Since I was planning on going to a Nacional game, I visited the team's museum and social club the day before the match, which is located here. When you walk inside to the right, there are some people sitting at a counter who can help you. I read online that this is where the ticket office was for Nacional, but that's not really what I would describe it as. In fact, the guy who helped me out simply helped me create a fan account and buy tickets through my phone. To this day, I'm not sure if there is a traditional ticket office there, but this guy was super helpful and I ended up buying tickets no problem. It's also nice because once you're up there, you're just a street away from the stadium and from the official team store, where I bought a jersey. But more on that later. Ticket prices vary by team, but if your home currency is the US dollar, British pound, or euro, you will not be breaking the bank. One game I went to, which was in the second division, Albion versus Uruguay Montevideo, cost me 200 Uruguayan pesos, which in 2025 US dollars is less than $5. Another game that I went to, which was in the first division, Progreso versus River Plate, was 350 Uruguayan pesos, equal to about $8.50 US. The most expensive ticket that I bought was for Nacional, which cost me 650 Uruguayan pesos, equal to about 16 US dollars. One great thing about Uruguayan football is that most teams in the first and second divisions are based in the Montevideo metro area, making it very easy to see multiple games in a day or over a weekend. There are multiple ways to get to games, and they're all pretty straightforward. Uruguay does have Uber, and drivers are plentiful. Taxis are also available, as are buses, which are very affordable. At all 4 stadiums I visited, I noticed that the stands were not connected, which leads me to my next tip: pay attention to where you're entering. At my first game of the weekend, the Nacional game, I entered into what I assumed to be the correct entrance, only to find out that it was not the right entrance. On top of that, there was no way for me to physically get to my assigned seat unless I exited the stadium entirely and re-entered on the other side, which was a street away. Now, maybe I could have done this with no issue, but my ticket had already been scanned, and I was a bit nervous about leaving the stadium and not being able to get back in. Luckily, I found an usher who, with the help of Google Translate, allowed me to sit in some empty seats near his entrance, and I was able to stay there for the entire game. I felt incredibly lucky finding this guy who was so helpful, especially because he was the fourth or fifth usher I asked for directions, in which I got various answers on where my seat actually was. I also ran into a similar issue at the Progresso game I went to. It turns out that the main entrance off of the street, the first entrance that you see, is not actually the home entrance. For this game, however, I was allowed to exit and re-enter on the home side with no problem. At the end of the day, these instances weren't major catastrophes, but I was caught off guard in the moment, so I'd suggest asking someone before you enter the stadium just to make sure it's where you're supposed to be. As far as seats go, the Nacional game was the only one that I went to that had assigned seats, so that kind of flexibility is nice. Also, besides the Nacional game, which appeared to be close to sold out outside of the away section, none of the games that I went to were sold out, so you'll have no issue buying tickets last minute or finding a seat. One last note I have about entering the stadiums involves identification. Every time you purchase a ticket in Uruguay, you'll be asked to enter your identification number, which, if you're a foreigner, is simply your passport number. Upon entering games, sometimes you'll be asked to show your passport or identification. While I was asked for mine at least twice, I never brought it along, and it never prevented me from attending a game. If you're nervous and want to bring it along, I think that's totally fine, but if you don't have yours on you, I don't think it's a deal breaker. If I'm wrong about this, Uruguayan football fans, let me know in the comments below. One thing I love to do when watching football in a new country is buy a jersey, and it's definitely possible here in Uruguay. As mentioned before, after I bought my Nacional tickets, I walked around the block to the team's official store, and I bought a brand new home jersey there. While ticket prices are pretty cheap in Uruguay, don't expect officially licensed jerseys to be cheap too. The jersey I bought at the Nacional store cost me just over $100, which is not typically what I look to spend. If you don't mind getting an older jersey or something that may be a good-looking knockoff, Nacional and Peñarol jerseys are widely available throughout Montevideo. If you're staying in Ciudad Viejo, the Port Market has numerous stores that sell good-looking knockoffs at way cheaper prices. If you're looking for Uruguay national team shirts, they also have those there too. If you're looking for shirts from more obscure teams in Uruguay, your best options are either going to that team's games and getting shirts there, or by checking out Somos Football at the Punta Cerradas shopping mall. This place doesn't have every team, but from my experience, it does have the best variety of smaller, local teams that I could find in Montevideo. Though don't expect these jerseys to be super cheap. Every game I went to offered various food and beverage options, including chorizo and these long hot dogs called ponchos. If you want to enjoy a cerveza at the game, you are out of luck. None of the games I attended sold beer inside the stadium, though it seemed pretty easy to find beer and other alcoholic drinks outside of the stadiums. You can bring bottles of water into stadiums, though they will make you remove the little plastic cap. You'll also notice many people with mate cups and large canisters of water inside stadiums, so if you have those, you can bring them as well. My final note is on safety. If you've come across videos like this one and are worried about your safety at a Uruguayan football match, don't be. While I'm sure there are some shenanigans that happen at derby games between Peñarol and Nacional, from my experience, Uruguayans are incredibly chill and friendly. Montevideo also felt incredibly safe when I was there, and I don't expect you to have any issues. In fact, I think and I hope you'll have a great time, as I did. Well, that's it for today's video. Have you seen a game in Uruguay? What did you think? Let us know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching.